Your Excellency, you allow me, because we really have to match with time, and that this time around, I now ask all workers in this country to make their voice heard to you, and this will be done through a statement made by the President of the Malawi Congress of Trade Unions.
Our guest of honor, Your Excellency the President of the Republic of Malawi, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, Your Excellency the First Lady of the Republic of Malawi, Madame Monica Chakwera, the Deputy Minister of Labor present here, Madame Vera Kantugule, and all officials from the Ministry of Labor. Mrs. Zandre Shawa, the Chairperson of Board of Trustees for ECAM, present here, and all ECAM members that are here, all honorable ministers present here, Madam Janet Banda from OPC, the Secretary General of Malawi Congress of Trade Unions, Brother Dennis Kalegeni, and all MCTU members present here, all government officials, ladies and gentlemen. Union! Yes. Union! Yes. Solidarity! Yes. Solidarity! An one! What do you want? What do you want? Where? When? Zogondweretsa. Your Excellency, it pleases me this morning to humbly stand before you and my fellow workers in celebration of this year's International Labor Day, which is observed on 1st May annually worldwide in honor of the hard-working and dedicated workers who are the driving force to any national development, with Malawi inclusive. Your Excellency, pleasing most is the fact that you have taken a personal initiative, having interacted with the Deputy Minister of Labor, Skills and Innovations, to invite workers to the State House and join them in the celebration of the day. Manjamo, a President Alola, tibere kudedi, ena numuda bondako kuno. Osanyadira ba. Your Excellency, sir, as the Malawi Congress of Trade Unions, we had decided to observe the day with only a minor activity of holding press briefing jointly with other social partners, majorly because of the prevalence of the COVID-19 as well as resource constraints faced by MCTU. Oh, Your Excellency, with our short-sightedness, we did not see you, Your Excellency, coming to our rescue. We did not see you, Your Excellency, taking the Labor Day celebrations this year with the deserved respect and recognition. We did not see you, Your Excellency, celebrating with us on this day, despite the function being trimmed to size to suit the COVID-19 preventive measures. And also, your ever-tight schedules, Your Excellency. For all this, I wish to sincerely thank you, Your Excellency, for this gesture, and take it from me that the labor movement runs short of words in expressing our appreciation. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, sir. And feel most welcome to this auspicious occasion. In fact, when I was informed by the Deputy Minister of Labor that you have decided to host the 2021 Labor Day celebrations here at Sanjiga, I immediately recalled that you have been joining us in Labor Day marches for a number of years. Even before you assumed this office of State President of the Republic of Malawi. You really have the love for the workers of this country. Your Excellency, we don't take that for granted. You recall, Your Excellency, that the last of such event took place on 1st May 2019 in Blantyre, where you gave workers solidarity by joining in the march along Blantyre streets No wonder, therefore, that having assumed office, you are just displaying what is already in your heart, love and concern for workers. May I, therefore, Your Excellency, take this opportunity to request that the official venue for the subsequent Labor Day celebrations be at State House, since you have opened the door for us. Your Excellency, sir, every year, International Labour Organization sets a theme of the Labor Day. However, as a country, we have crafted our own theme, derived from the main one, and our theme this year is decent work, key to economic recovery amidst COVID-19 pandemic. Your Excellency, sir, this theme is very important because it energizes us to still strive in creating and promoting decent work, despite the devastating effects of the pandemic. Numbers cannot be underestimated. This is why government had to put in place strict preventive measures against further spread of the disease. The pandemic itself, coupled with the imposed restrictions, has exerted unnecessary pressure on the socio-economic agenda of the country's economy and public service delivery. For instance, our health system was overstretched with some hospitals struggling to meet public demand for health services due to limited medical personnel and equipment. Production in most companies dwindled, forcing some of them to close down, with others slowing down production due to insignificant sales. Your Excellency, retrenchment of workers in some cases, terminating contracts without notice pay. Other workers have been subjected to pay cuts without notice. Other workers have been sent to both forced and unpaid leave. Just imagine. What is more painful, Your Excellency, is the fact that workers were being subjected to such precarious conditions, which government had already released various interventions and workplaces policy guidelines for employers to take heed before executing any decision impacting on the workers. I wish to openly challenge such employers that no meaningful development in any country, Malawi not spared, can be achieved when welfare of workers is being undermined. As all of us are aware that workers are the engine room for the economy of our country. I therefore denounce and condemn in strongest possible terms the ill-treatment and unconstitutional interventions employed by some unscrupulous employers in disguise of protecting and safeguarding the interests of their businesses. On the other hand, Your Excellency, allow me to applaud you and your government for the strong measures taken in order to defeat the pandemic, as well as to mitigate its impact on the economy in general and workers in particular. Your Excellency, government did all it could to ensure that additional health personnel are recruited to cover up the shortfall, so that every Malawian should have easy access to medical and health facilities. This also included provision of adequate health equipment in all health facilities. Your Excellency, government made sure that it increases health care centers from where health services could be accessed. This even involved opening up of state lodges and other public entertainment centers like Bingu Stadium as health care centers. We don't take that initiative, Your Excellency, for granted. Government, amidst budgetary constraints, provided funds amounting to 6.2 billion Malawi kwacha, as well as other relevant materials in order to fight the pandemic. In your own capacity, Your Excellency, you instituted an inclusive presidential task force on COVID-19, which until now gives daily updates on the situation on the ground and monitors all activities related to the fight. Government has procured COVID-19 vaccination, which is being administered on all citizens in the country, including workers. While on this point, Your Excellency, allow me to thank you personally for taking the lead with the Vice President in taking the jab of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. You are really exemplary, Your Excellency. May the Almighty God, the Omnipotent One, bless you. This has assisted in clearing the misconceptions most citizens had, and most of the citizens have been compelled and encouraged to take the vaccine. Your Excellency, much as the increase of minimum wage from 35 to 50,000 and increase in tax-free threshold from 45,000 to 100,000. On this one, Your Excellency, allow me to speak in Chichewa. Edi. Zogo nerani. Inuyo bwana, mutabwera mudanena kuti mtengo wawalipira wanthu ndalama zochepetsetsa uchoke pa 35,000 kwacha ufike pa 50. Komanso ndalama zodula msonkho inu kuti makampani aziyambodula msonkho asambiraso pa 45,000 aziyambira pa 100,000. Eti nzokwanerani inu mmene mudakomera mtima mu Your Excellency inu mwanena choncho ndiye mpaka na mwachita gazeti izizi. Eti nkumapezeka wina waje samva mkunkhu Your Excellency, what you have done, what your government has done, is something workers in Malawi shall ever live to cherish and appreciate. I therefore join all workers in Malawi in thanking you and your government for this initiative. This is wonderful. Your Excellency, sir, as workers in Malawi, we wish to applaud you and your administration for the successful implementation of the Affordable Input Program, AIP, achieving food security in the process. This will reduce pressure on most workers who also have to support their extended families in provision of basic amenities, including food. Enarun kumadi, kwadi iweyo ukonena za chakuja, iweyo ndiwe wa agriculture. Inusimu uziwa zoni na kuti muntu wanchito asangalale mpamimba. Ndiye ngati Obwana Chakwera abweretsa kuno kwa chakuja. Edi ndiye kuti ifeyo mavuto wathu ena atidula za kumbuyo. Sichocho nanga. Yetu zinazo mathokoza nzako akachita zabwino mathokoza osamango nyonyothola nthawi zonse ya. Mudakhala bwanji? MCD, Your Excellency, as a strategic social partner, wishes to take advantage of this event to propose a policy framework which takes into account the 4 pillars of decent work agenda in fighting COVID-19, while creating and promoting decent work for sustained growth and development. Your Excellency, 1, social protection for all. It is evident, Your Excellency, that COVID-19 has exposed the gaps in our social protection schemes in Malawi, which exposes most workers to abject poverty in the event of job losses. For example, the majority of the workers that have been retrenched shall continue suffering together with their families because they will fail to meet the increasing cost of living. It is for this reason, Your Excellency, that the Malawi Congress of Trade Unions urges your office and your government to put in place a functional, comprehensive social protection system that would cater for eventualities like the COVID-19 pandemic. MCTU also urges your government to operationalize the Workers' Compensation Fund, which we hear is failing to take off due to government's failure to pump in seed money. Your Excellency, number 2, protection of local employers and businesses. Much as MCTU appreciates the compelling factors for some employers to indeed carry out retrenchments, such measures should have been avoided had we already, as a country, put in place stabilization fund aimed at cushioning and bailing out struggling companies and businesses in the private sector, as well as the small and medium enterprises. Your Excellency, MCTU applauds your government for coming up with a National Economic Empowerment Fund, NEF, aimed at providing soft loans to the SMEs, but the provision of stabilization fund to companies to cushion their capital would have done more in restraining retrenchments. Mendi yankula pano bwana zero dandiragalate ngati president wa MCTU kuchokera ku union ina ya textiles imene yadandaula nina kuti mapeto David Whitehead kuleku it is on the verge kuti icho tsanthu ntchito about 1,000 akuti chifukwa chonena kuti MRA has pounced on them mwina for nani compliance ndi msonkho bwana mmati ndikupempheni ineyo sine olembedwa ine sine olemba ntchito ine ndi olembedwa koma ndikupempheni chifukwa tapeza kuti olemba anzawo ntchito akafinyika kufinya woko amakafinye feyo amakafinya feyo iwo taoneni amapeto chifukwa cha msonkho basi akafinya abantu etacho tsanthu 1,000 ndeneyo mmene ndimagona usiku mzimu era una ndibwerera kuti ndzalankhule izi kunena kuti ndilankhula izi bwana mosaopa ayi kunena kuti inuyo bwana mutithandize atusiritsiratu timantsina pang'ono kuti akamamva opweteka pang'ono kena kana adzitani achangamuke zimezo mmati mpemphe bwana muyiuze MRA kunena kuti isachiro finya ikafinya kwambiri chimene chiuchitika amati finya ifeyo nanga nde mmaganizo mwangamo zimene mandoti nzimwera una ndiyankhulazo zonena kuti inu bwana simwanena boma lanutu ndikuzeni ndopambana ifo chonena kuti mudanena kuti mufuna malemba anthu ntchito wani chani paja 1 million eti pachaka ndiye wena afuna kuti zimene zizi zilephereke ndikudziwa kuti mmaganizo asatana njerekezi afuna kuti ntchito imene munenenu bwana ilephereke pamene inuyo bwana inu ngati munthu wopemphera mukufuna kuti pangira ntchito 1 million koma satana akumadzera mwa anthu wena kumanamizira ntchito kumanamizira ubwino mmazoti wena amachita ngati achita ubwino afuna kupondereza zimene inuyo bwana mufuna kuti zizichitika mdziko muno pepani ndangodutsamo bwana sindachole nkhani pepani. Your Excellency, the third issue is about the promotion of affordable financial services as well as the provision of affordable utility services. Your Excellency, sir, it is undisputable that the COVID-19 pandemic has brought a new way of conducting daily business, prompting most of work to be done whilst at home, including meetings as a preventative measures of further spread of the COVID-19. Such an approach has increased the demand for household utilities, especially water, electricity, and data bundles. It is for this reason, Your Excellency, that MCDU applauds you and your government for reasoning with internet and mobile service providers to reduce the tariffs for the data bundle. And we are looking forward to further reduction of the other related tariffs in this sector. Your Excellency, on the other hand, MCDU urges government through the service providing parastatals to seriously consider reducing the tariffs of electricity and water as a means of cushioning households in accessing utility services, as well as cushioning and disposable income at the household level. As Malawi Congress of Trade Unions, Your Excellency, we have also seen that this is how we are going to conserve. We are also going to conserve our vegetation, our forests. Magala kuzalewa sadzapezekaso ngati magetsi ndi madzi kweni magetsi atatsitsa ndiye kuti magala acha mitengo yathu ikhala chilengedwe chikhalabe ndiye bwana imeneyo ni ntchito yoti inu bwana wathu ale sakudziwa pano pa mtima wanunso ndana sakudziwa. We have always, as MCTU, urged both ESCOM and water boards to suspend disconnection exercise for their utilities as a means of easing pressure on the workers, especially amidst this COVID-19. It is also pleasing, Your Excellency, that the Minister of Finance, Honorable Felix Mulusu, announced the plans during the last sitting of Parliament for your administration to introduce free water and electricity connections during the forthcoming fiscal year. We have also, Your Excellency, as MCDU, urged the government through Reserve Bank of Malawi to reduce the interest rates on loans and other service charges which are currently so exorbitant, only aiming at huge profit making and not necessarily service provisions to Malawians. You will agree with me, Your Excellency, that the levels of profit margins scored by most banks and financial service providers in Malawi in the just ended fiscal year is totally daylight robbery. How can such institutions, Your Excellency, including Reserve Bank of Malawi, score billions and billions of profits when Malawians keep on being milked and milked? Your Excellency, MCTU demands a reversal of this trend, but politely, Your Excellency. Banks and financial service providers must not be operating in a different world. It is Malawians who are paying for their luxurious and flamboyant type of life achieved through exorbitant interest rates and service charges. Number 4, strengthening of social dialogue at both national and enterprise level, as well as intensifying joint labor inspections. Your Excellency, sir, you are already aware that the Tripartite Labor Advisory Council, TIRAC, is an important national labor structure that provides a platform for government and social partners through Ministry of Labor, Skills and Innovations to discuss labor issues and reach consensus, as well as advising government through Ministry of Labor on all labor-related policies. It is therefore sad, Your Excellency, to report that the TIRAC structure has remained idle for quite some time, despite its importance, particularly at this time that the world of work has been adversely affected by the COVID-19. For this reason, Your Excellency, MCTU urges government to revamp and reinvigorate TIRAC operations through allocation of adequate budgetary support to Ministry of Labor. One of the bottlenecks to achieving decent work in Malawi is the absence of comprehensive joint labor inspections in workplaces. As a result, some employers have taken advantage by taking the law into their own hands. Some employers have not yet implemented the gazetted minimum wage, which I already said, while at the same time aggravating unfair labor practices on including gender-based violence. All such exploitations can be history if the Ministry of Labor is empowered by ensuring that they have adequate personnel as well as adequate budgetary allocation. Bwana, magampani musarone tikamaseka pani. Magampani murukuma nanzo koma. Mmadini nenei. Kuli magampani wena kweni private sector. Amabwera sabantu, amabwera ngandi makontena gaya. Amabwera opanda certificate weno wayeneleza hayi. Koma ediwo nkuzalenga ntchito za Malawi. Ziyambanena zija kuti satana njerekezi akumadzana mu njira ina. Kuti akusokonezeni niyo bani fesitilola atuya. Faye tukuzani. Fesitilola ayi. Chifukwa makampani wenamu akumatenga anthu onena kuti ma qualifications amene Amalawi ali nawo. Eti nkwalemba iwo Malawi kukhala pansi pa iwo. Malawi yuso nkumaphunzitsa iwo. Chimeji nchilungamo. Ndiye limanena kuti Ministry of Labor bwana ikakhala kuti ili ndalama zokwanira inspection ija ndiye ntchito yake kuti adzipeza kuti wadinuyo tadutsa ni ma credentials yanu muli certificate yanji nanga munthu akakhale ndi qualification ya akuti English intermediate nkukakhala engineer zoona English intermediate certificate yake ndiye akakhala engineer alifo iti kwawoko ankagwira ntchito ya mu stores chimecho nchilungamo pamene ma engineers ku polytechnic ngambirimbiri achimalawi. Number 5, Your Excellency. Continue the protection of workers from COVID-19 in the workplace and the general environment. While your government, Your Excellency, is doing all it takes to stop the further spread of coronavirus, it is disheartening to note that both the general public and some employers and employees have relaxed on their own. The enforcement of the preventive measures, and yet the pandemic is real and is still prevalent. Looking at how devastating the third wave has hit India, we cannot as a nation take chances and live life as usual. MCTU applauds your government, Your Excellency, for imposing a ban on entry of travelers from the worst affected countries. But that is not enough if all of us do not play our role. This role is not for your own, Your Excellency, but all of us should play our role in mitigating the impacts of this pandemic. MCTU therefore calls upon all employers, faith-based organizations as well as community leaders to keep on sensitizing and reminding their subjects to strictly keep on observing the COVID-19 preventive measures. MCTU also calls upon the law enforcing agencies to continue enforcing with resilience compliance of the COVID-19 preventive measures so that we do not lose out to the battle which as a nation we are already seemingly winning through your leadership, Your Excellency. Number 6, commitment to ending fraud and corruption of public resources. MCTU wishes to commend Your Excellency for the tough stand and approach you have taken in fighting corruption and fraud in the country. Your Excellency, sir, you have demonstrated true statesmanship and servant leadership qualities in sanctioning an audit of 6.2 billion Malawi meant for the fight against COVID-19, which some ill-intentioned public officers decided to abuse. MCTU applauds you, sir, for allowing justice to apply without any selection and protection of those who would have been deemed sacred cows. Your Excellency, MCTU further requests you and your government to ensure that the judiciary is well empowered, without any political interference, so that it professionally and impartially deals with all corruption cases with a deserved speed. We will be happy as MCTU to see the setting up of special courts to expedite the prosecution and conviction of all culprits. This also requires allocation of adequate resources to the judiciary. On the other hand, Your Excellency, MCTU requests you, sir, to also sanction similar audits on all COVID-19 funds and any other public funds that are suspected to have been misused, so that the outcome of the audit should form a basis for allowing the law to take its course. You said, Your Excellency, in your national address, and I quote, Mubweza. We join Your Excellency to this call, and we say, Abweza. Number 7, expansion of the tax collection base. We applaud Your Excellency and your government in putting in place measures to increase the tax collection base, one of which is empowering the small and medium enterprises. MCDU believes that as a country, we should embark on a journey of formalizing the informal economy by domesticating some ILO conventions, particularly Recommendation 204 on transition to the formal economy. It is undisputable, Your Excellency, that the government is unable to collect adequate revenue from non-compliant taxpayers and unregulated informal economy, which on the other hand, Your Excellency, utilizes much of the public services for free. MCDU calls upon the government to broaden the tax collection base, which will eventually provide relief on the few easier to catch tax compliant citizens within formal economy. Number 8, reforms and improving court operations in the Industrial Relations Court IRC. Your Excellency, sir, it is imperative for us to bring to your attention that it has pleased the Chief Justice to appoint his honor, Austin Sawyer, to be the chairperson of the Industrial Court, and I have the honor to introduce him to you, sir. Honorable Austin Sawyer, are you here? Here he is. Thank you so much, Bwana Austin Sawyer. You are welcome to the labor fraternity. His Honor Austin Sawyer has already demonstrated that he is willing to transform operations at the IRC, as he has already embarked on engaging stakeholders and court users at IRC, including MCDU and ECAM. For this reason, Your Excellency, I urge government to support the Industrial Relations Court in implementing the necessary reforms the court may seek to pursue. The key stakeholders in such a task are the Chief Justice and the Registrar of the High Court, the executive and legislative branches of government, as well as the donor community. Remember, Your Excellency, that justice delayed is justice denied. In conclusion, I wish to reiterate to all workers and the general public that COVID-19 is real and COVID-19 kills. Government is doing everything possible to fight the pandemic, but all these efforts will be meaningless if citizens do not take up their role. The continued prevalence of COVID-19 is the continued suppression of our national economy, which is a threat to decent work. I therefore urge all workers and Malawians to continue observing the COVID-19 preventive measures with its strictness, and also ensuring that everyone goes for COVID-19 vaccination for Malawi to win the battle. I thank you all for the attention, and may God bless all workers in Malawi. May God bless Mother Malawi. At this juncture, it is my singular honor and privilege to request the Deputy Minister of Labor. Oh, Zinagoma. Pepani, Your Excellency, Zinagoma. I thank you all for your attention, and may God bless all workers in Malawi. May the omnipotent God specifically bless Your Excellency, Madam First Lady, as you are looking after all of us in Malawi. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you.
Manjamo sumukumveka buno manja. Your Excellency, I must admit that maybe some people thought that the speech was a bit long, but this is our day. We needed to pour out what we have. And thank you so much, Your Excellency, for being so patient. Thank you so much. Our another president atu, Malawi Congress of Trade Unions, Bambolutha Mambala, ndipo ndiforokozele pano kuti mulungu anapatsa mawu okwera polankhula. Osati wina pano yoke kuti aya amakalipira president ya state president amakalipa mangolankhula mwabwinobwino kuti state president amvetsetse. Union! Yes. Union! Yes. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, this point in time allow me to call Chinganingani and the Gringande comedy team to come and entertain us. Thank you.
Bambo?
Eya. Lero tu Bambo. Ndi siku lalikulu kwambiri.
Ndipo zuwa sililowa.
Chifukwa?
Simweti ndi siku lalikulu.
Ndiye siku likakula.
Ndikuti zuwa silimalo watu.
Bambo lero ndi siku lofunikira.
Siku la mtengo wapatali.
Siku la mtengo wapatali lero.
Eya, limene pa Chingerezi timalicha kunena kuti World AIDS Day.
liti
lero
chifukwa
ndampinda ndayankhula za Chingerezi.
iwe lika bwanji world AIDS day lero
mesa lero ndiwani
ndiye pakakhala pawani
ndi pamene timapanga tu zimenezo
zaedzizo
saziziwa
bambo lero tu ndi Labor Day langonanso kukhala pawani
chabwino
manifestesa limene timakumbukira anthu onse amene amagwira ntchito
chabwino
ogwira ntchito komanso olemba anzawo chani
olemba anzawo ntchito
ndi pamene timakumbukira kuti kodi kumbuyo kumene tayendako
pamene pakufunikira kuti tikonze
ndi pati
pamene pakufunikira kuti tachita bwino tilimbikisani
ndi pati siku lake limakhala liti
lalero
ndi sikunso limene olemba ntchito ndi olembedwa ntchito amakhala pansi ndikuwunikirana za mavuto amene akutani
amene akuchitika
akukomana nawo koma tisayiwalebe kunena kuti zonsezi zikuchitika dziko mwathu muno muli chani muli a president akwanitse kutukula zikoli sitingakayitanetu anthu aku Mozambiki
kuti adzalitukule ziko
kuti atithandizire kugwira ntchito molimbika kuti ziko lathu litukuke
zikufunikira ife tokha ini yache
ifeyo aini yache
ndiye kumapezeka azimayi ena
akuimba foni ku ntchito
alope pani tulero sindibwera ndinakayezesa COVID-19 ndiye andipeza kuti ndikhale 2 weeks
koma chonsecho
sanapiteko ndiki kuchipatalako
akupita kuti
ku Tanzania kopikula katundu
vuto ndi limenelo tisalowese ulesi bambo wina akuimba foni kuti
ali kuku halo sindibwera ku ntchito lero
chifukwa
nakandiyeza COVID-19
ndiye
lero sindibwera
chonsecho
ali kokolola kumunda
zona
chonde
tiyeni COVID isatipase ulesi ili pakati patu nthawi imene ndi imene tikuyenera kutani anthufe tilimbikire tigwire ntchito molimbika ndiye awa anali olembedwa
ntchito
ndiye tiyankhule
chonde tipiteso kwa mabwana amene mmatilemba ntchito chifukwa tutanenakaye kuti lero ndilote anthu amene timalembana ntchito
tiyankhulane
ngakhale mavalidwe akuchita kuonesa kuti awo ndi olemba ntchito awo ndi olembedwa ntchito
zikuoneka tumomu bambo masuti ali kuno komanso kuti masuti awatu ndi aolembawa ndiye kuli maweksuti kuno tikudziwa kuti olembedwa tu
awo
mchifukwa chache ifenso
lerolo
zathu sitinabwere nazo
ndipo tikanangoti tavala zathu zimene timavala ife kuthengoku
tikanabwera nazo kuno
mukanadabwa kuti kodi ku State House kuno lero anthu afuna aoneseko njoka
bambo tiyayankhule amene amalemba anzawo ntchito kuti mabwana musatengerepo mwayi chifukwa chakubwera kwa COVID-19 ndi kuwatsitsiranso anthu malipiro sisi kugwirizana yenderani zimene ndi munthu imuna atani
tinapangana pachiyambi
ndipo yenderani zimene malamulo akutani
akunena
komanso tisayiwale kuti pali mabwana ena amene akumata kuchosa anthu ntchito ati chifukwa choti kwabwera chani
COVID-19
inu tsopano munthu a president akunena kuti anthu akhale ndi zochita apeze zakudya akagula bwanji zakudya za banja lache mwanchosa chani
kumuchosa ntchito
iye atisatengerepo mwayi wa COVID-19 chonde mabwana ngati pali vuto tikhale pansi titani tikambirane
tizithokozaso madokotala
Nkhani
imene ya COVID-19
mukuyesesa madokotala
komanso tizipempha anthu opita kuchipatala
chonde
pamapezeka apita ena kuchipatala
ukampeza dokotala
ndiye kumpeza dokotala
ali ine
mmene ndikumvera m'mimbamu ndikumati ndikameza mbamu ndikumachita kulira papa ngati mwagwera chikolola inu munambe mwemeza kuchikolola
tamuuzani zoti atani dokotala
alembe pachipepa miyendo yanga ikulemera khanga tinanyamula ya Mike Tyson munanyamulapo miyendo
tatiyeniso pano tiyathokoze a president potilola lero kuti tikhale ku nyumba yachifumu kuno kukambirana zimenezi akanakhala tuena a president sakanalola ndipo tiyapemphenso mabwana aja kunena kuti mu nthawi imeneyi ndimene akanaganizira anthu awo olembedwa ntchito kuti apapa tikupangeni pang'ono kasalale kuti mwina mwache muthandizike chifukwa nkhaniyi a president alinayo kale anthu ogwira ntchito mbombo asamalire a president alikale mmapulani kuti kodi anthu ogwira ntchito ndi apange moti chani. A president kuthokozereni itu in advance tikuzoti mupanga tiyamikirire. Kodi bambo ndinamva kuti mano anu anachokera ku ntchito, mukugwira ntchito?
Anachokera tu ku ntchito mano
ino aching'aning'ani chifukwa wina achana nduzagiri ng'ande ine alianzano achachosedwa mano ku ntchito zinakhala bwanji.
Kampani yathu tupaja makhonza malata ndi cement.
Yes.
Ndiye ndimatindika maweruka siku ndi siku akundisecha pa gate. Kundisecha inu mthumba
nina
lata ningalike mthumba
iwe ukutuluka akusecha.
Yes. Bambo ndeti naenda straight forward paka mwapaine
chibakera chitafika paka mwapako
mano 7 ya mwamba pompo downi
mwamba mano 7 anagwa pansi. Kenaka
atatu hapa si atakambia na kuti mwamba mungati mwecho kama big man 7.
Yes.
Even ndani.
Yes.
Na oso atatu hapa si moziche pesa downi.
Bambo ngati ndakumvani bwino mwati mwambamu munagwa mano angati
7
pansipa
atatu
onse pamozi
10
akanakhala kuti ni mabanzi
ikanati unit ndinakomokatu
ungakomokedi
ndiye ndili chikomokere
uli chikomokere
ndimene nimazifuso ndikangwerekere ndikangozuka.
Yes.
Mulonda amene ndi lume
sopano ukanamuluma ndi chani mano ulibe
agiling'andi ndikananga mbulumunya ndikunsiya basi.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. A big hand of applause again to Chinganingani and Giringande. You have really entertained us on this auspicious occasion. Thank you so much. Ndimaona nditu kudinga kala state president ndima watu ali maski kwa mama seka bas. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, it is now my humble duty and privilege at this point in time to invite the Honorable Deputy Minister of Labor, Madam Vela Kamtukule, to actually stand and make her statement, and at the end also to request to Your Excellency to address the people that are gathered here, to address all workers in Malawi, and to address the nation. Madam Vela Kamtukule, Deputy Honorable Minister, thank you.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Malawi, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, the First Lady of the Republic of Malawi, Madam Monica Chakwera, the Deputy Secretary of the President and Cabinet, Dr. Janet Banda, and all senior government officials present here, the President of the Malawi Congress of Trade Unions, Mr. Luther Mambala, the General Secretary of the MCTU, Mr. Dennis Kalekeni, and all MCTU staff and affiliates present here. The Board Chairperson of ECAMA, Mrs. Zandile Shawa, the Acting Secretary to Labor, Mr. Shaliwayo Nyangulu, and all senior cabinet officials present here, government officials rather, distinguished guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me, Your Excellency, to join all the speakers that have spoken before me to thank you, Your Excellency, for allowing us to host this event here at such a short notice. And before I forget, let me also thank all your staff from State House for putting together this occasion within a short period of time. I think it was within 24 hours. I would like to provide my sincere gratitude to all your team for the work, for the job well done. Ajana nena kuti jiboma nchimachini sana name ai fatajuona chimachini chikuyenda within 24 hours to put together an occasion such as this. So thank you so much from our ministry. Your Excellency, today is the 1st May. It's called the Labor or Workers' Day, a day in which we celebrate workers around the globe. a day in which we recognize their selfless contributions to our economies. Your Excellency, even though this is just one day that is set aside on our calendars to celebrate workers, I want to believe that every day should be a Labor Day. For as long as we expect someone to ensure that our water taps are not dry, then every day should be a Labor Day. As long as we expect to have electricity all day, every day, then every day must be a Labor Day. As long as we expect to find bread for our breakfast in the shops, then every day must be a Labor Day. As long as we expect to draw money from our ATM machines at the bank, every day. From the day we are born up to the day we are buried on the ground, there are hundreds of workers that are ensuring that things are happening for us. It is pitiful, therefore, when we take things for granted and end up forgetting and dismissing the plight of the gallant men and women who work every day tirelessly with resilience and dedication, paying a price so that we can live in comfort and in peace. These are surely our unsung heroes. We therefore have every reason today to celebrate workers across all sectors of our economy, from the lowest paid one to the highest paid. Your Excellency, this year's Labor Day theme is decent work, key to economic recovery amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. I couldn't have thought of a better theme than this. The COVID-19 pandemic is probably one of the greatest challenges this world has ever known. Its unpredictable nature makes it even harder for nations to strategically plan around it. But be that as it may, Your Excellency, we cannot put the lives of Malawians at a standstill and wait for the virus to at least to magically go away. Our lives must go on. Companies must still exist. Government business must still go on. Basically, people must continue to work. As with most pandemics, Your Excellency, women and girls have been hit the hardest. This is why, through our Ministry of Labor, we must ensure that women are protected from abuse, that women are treated fairly and remunerated in accordance with the service that they've rendered. This will go a long way, Your Excellency, in promoting the interest to get jobs among women. Your Excellency, inequalities in the labor sector are toxic to economic growth because they constrain the labor market, making it difficult for organizations and businesses to scale up efficiently. And in our quest to create 1 million decent jobs as a government, we shall endeavor to ensure that all forms of inequalities in the labor market are adequately addressed. There is empirical data, Your Excellency, which shows that when women contribute to the family's income, more resources get allocated to education of children, as well as to safeguarding their health. This is also in line with our Vision 2063, the one that you launched, Your Excellency, a couple of weeks ago, that places a minimum of 12 years of schooling for every Malawian. The COVID-19 pandemic, Your Excellency, has changed the world of work forever. We never knew that meetings, including international ones, could be held online, but now we can. What this means, therefore, Your Excellency, is that one, we must also adapt accordingly as a nation by embarking on an industrial revolution drive. We must foster the reskilling and upskilling of our labor force, starting with the ones who have been affected the most, like those in the hospitality sector, for example. We must invest in building technology capacity for our people so that they stand ready for future jobs. We must ensure that we reskill and retool our labor force to harness technology-led jobs. For example, software designers, social media anthropologists, and data scientists, just to mention but a few. We must disabuse fears that use of technology will lead to job losses, as machines will replace human beings. Your Excellency, machines cannot negotiate. Machines cannot feel. Machines cannot show empathy. Machines cannot use intuition, but people can. And that is why, even from now onwards, people will still be required in the world of work. We must therefore train our labor force to manage and understand technology, even without high-tech development skills. We must invest in research and development to ensure that business decisions are made based on data and not on instincts or hearsay. Lastly, Your Excellency, we must also democratize access to skills. Your Excellency, I will admit that things have been hard, and God forbid, they may get harder. But to echo your own words, the ones you once said to us, and I quote, "Even in moments of hopelessness, there will still be a ray of hope that things can get better." End of quote. Malawi is blessed on every side. And as a people, we have gone through situations we never imagined we could conquer. We will leverage on that same spirit, Your Excellency, to continue with the fight, to continue with the war, because we know that as long as we still have breath in us, we will live to fight another day, and that we can and we will win. Your Excellency, I would like just for a little second to respond on the issue of the Mapeto David Whitehead wholesalers. Indeed, our ministry received a letter from that company informing us, according to the law, that they will be laying off about 1,000 employees. So we engaged them just yesterday. But before we did that, we had to go to people in their homes that are taking care, that they're looking up to them. And also they go out to buy airtime. That person that is selling airtime also has 5 or 7 people that look up to them. That person also goes to buy bread. The person that owns that wakala also has 7 or 10 people that are looking up to them. So, Your Excellency, if we allow for us to lose 1,000 people, we are going to affect a socio-economic system that is going to affect at least 100,000 or at least 150,000 people. And so, without divulging any information, I would like you to know that we are handling that as a government. With these few remarks, Your Excellency, it is my humble duty this morning to request you, sir, to address your people. Thank you so much for your attention.
Your Excellency, Madam Monica Chakwera, First Lady of the Republic of Malawi, Honorable Vera Kamtukule, Deputy Minister of Labor, Mr. Luther Mambala, President of the Malawi Congress of Trade Unions, and all the representatives of the trade unions here present, Mrs. Zandile Shawa, Chairperson of the Board of Trustees of the Employers Consultative Association of Malawi, Dr. Janet Banda, SC, Deputy Secretary, the President and Cabinet, and all government officials here present, Abande, Giringande, Dimzage, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our Ndiguanas Inspector General Police, I'm sorry. Pano bali anchito azanga mbili. Inanena kuti naneni vale zimene timenera kuvala kunchito. Then nazango pesa zomwezi ndia. Koma nkavala nawo zina zizi. No, so ladies and gentlemen, mundirole kuti poyamba chifukwa tilikulankhula si paikama ndi MCT yokai koma tikulankhula ndi aliyense ku Malawi kuno antchito wonse kulikonse komanso wena ali tcheru kuti amve nawo kuti kodi pa Labor Day ku Malawi mumagwirizana kuchita chiyani. Ndiye chidwi ncha anthu ambirimbiri koma lero tipereke ulemu sawacha kwa antchito wonse ku Malawi. Nthawi iliyonse mukamagwira ntchito mutsegulira mwayi wakuti inu ndi apabanja anu zikuyendereni, kuti so Malawi akhale okomera aliyense. Munena zoonadi, angakhale Malawi ali ndi mapiri, nyanja, mitsinje, zinthu zambiri zokongola, popanda ogwira ntchito kuti agwiritse ntchito zilengedwe chimenechi chimene Mulungu adatipatsa zitithandiza phindu zedi ku Malawi kuno, koma kuti anthu asalime mkutsala njira zamakono komanso zimene akolola zisungidwe bwino zikhale za phindu, ndiye kuti chitukuko sichithekanso. So tikungonena kuti mwachidule maziko wakuti dziko likhoza kutukuka ndi antchito. Chifukwa chimenecho nkwabwino kuti tsiku ngati la lero tilikumbukire tonse, koma nkugwirizananso kuti zimene chauta adatipatsazi tichite nazo motani potumikirana wina ndi mnzake, kuti tipeze zinthu zimene zikhoza kutukula miyoyo yathu komanso dziko lathu nkukhala dziko lodalira momwe tidanenera za masomphenya wathu. Ndiye ndifuna ndiwerenge statement mchingerezi kuti anthu amve ndithu, ngakhale wena amene amatifunira zabwino nawonso atsatire bwinobwino. Koma chachikulu nchakuti Amalawi tachoka paja pakuti tikhoza kumangoonelera kuti bola achite ntchito ndi wakuti ena tizingokhala kumembekezera kuti yeyo atipatse zotsatira zake. Koma aliyense agwire ntchito, aliyense agwire ntchito modzipereka, aliyense agwire ntchito ndi khama, aliyense agwire ntchito mogwirizananso ndi nyengo talowamozi, kuti tipeze mayankho amene nthawi zina satha kupezeka chifukwa chakuti anthu timangoganizira kaganiziridwe komweko kachikalekale osaona kuti nyengo zomwe zasintha, ndi kuti ngakhale pa Chingereza amati mentorship, timaganiza ngati kuti wamkulu ndi amene athandiza mwana. Lero even wana amachita mentor wamkulu chifukwa chakuti vana vaja vaphunzira za nkhani zokhudzana ndi za kompyuta mwachitsanzo, zimene achikulire vaja aine kukhalanso ophunzira kwa mwanayo. Aliyense aphunzitse mnzake osadankhawa kuti akamaphunzitsa ine munthu wamkulu kale ndiye kuti nachepa wakula ni mwanayo. Tiye tipatsane ulemu chifukwa tili ni nzeru za nkhani Malawi muno zimene tikaphunzitsana ndi kulangizana zikhala za phindu kuti tonse tikweze dziko lathu. Mavuto akakhalapo tiye tikambirane, tiye tikhale pansi, ndipo zitithandiza kuti malo momangolozana zala nkuona kuti chitalike nchandani kuloza ndani sizithandiza. Koma tikakhala pansi nkumagambirana nkuona kuti tipeze mayankho tonse limodzi zizitithandiza, chifukwa si nzeru ya munthu mmodzi ayi, nzeru za ife tonse kuti tichite bwino. So today, as we pay tribute to all workers in this country, we understand that every time you get engaged in work, you not only unlock opportunities for yourself and for your family, you also make Malawi a better country. And if truth be told, Malawi may have beautiful lakes and rivers, but without workers to ply various trades in them, there can never be any development. Malawi may have precious stones and minerals, but without workers to bring them out of the ground for value addition, there can be no development. Malawi may have vast swaths of fertile soil, but without workers to cultivate that soil for crop production, there can be no development. So in short, work is the bedrock of any country's economy and development, and for that reason, it is good that we have a Labor Day and good that it is a public holiday. This gives unappreciated, overworked, and abused. And so for my part as president, I'm committed to ensuring that decent work is promoted in Malawi, that workers are paid their dues on time and commensurate with services rendered. I'm also committed to ensuring that mechanisms are put in place to protect the rights of workers. In this regard, my administration values the indispensable role that the unions play as our eyes and ears for ensuring that all labor laws are followed and enforced. In fact, I'm fully persuaded that the welfare of any nation's labor force cannot be improved without the help of strong unions. Because you have employed me as Malawians, I wanted to join in that union deal. And even this song that you all sang, I didn't know your president not only can he speak with animation, he can sing so well that I was kind of lured to joining in, because I like the manner in which this whole thing was organized. So, union!
Yes!
Notwithstanding, the interface between government and unions in addressing labor-related problems must be sensitive and responsive to the unique circumstances of these pandemic times. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected us in many ways that cannot simply be glossed over or whisked away. For example, in the middle of a pandemic that has exposed health workers to disease and death more than any other working group, it makes sense to treat those workers as a priority for personal and social protection. Similarly, those workers whose work has been made more difficult by the pandemic cannot be treated as facing the same kind of emergency as those who have lost their jobs entirely. The fact is that the pandemic has been hard for all workers, costly for most workers, life-threatening for many, devastating and fatal for some. And we must tailor our assistance to workers regarding these things without creating a false equivalence between the various scenarios. Take the situation faced by those working in the tourism sector, for example. Many operations in this sector have ground to a halt during the pandemic, causing heavy job losses for so many people working there, especially those who are unskilled, which are in the majority. So while I pledge my government's continued support to all sectors, like any good physician, treating a patient with multiple organ failure, I prioritize those sectors that are either in the midst of and facing decimation, or those that are strategic to our economy's very survival. At the same time, my administration is addressing long-standing labor-related issues to ensure that we safeguard the welfare of workers long-term, that we improve our labor laws and regulatory framework for better protection of our workers, and that we upskill and reskill workers for new jobs. In fact, when it comes to skilling for new jobs, it is the COVID-19 pandemic itself that has changed the world of work forever. And so our workforce must be equipped with new skills needed for the jobs of a post-COVID world. However, as we venture into the world together, that world of post-COVID-19, we must have the right mindset about what our workers mean to this economy. The future of jobs and the jobs building is one in which labor is an expression of human dignity. In the new Malawi we are building, no workers should be denied freedom of association. In the new Malawi we are building, no worker should be discriminated against. In the new Malawi we are building, no worker should be paid below the new minimum wage we have put in effect since I took office. In the new Malawi we are building, tenancy labor, forced labor, and child labor will all be abolished. In the new Malawi we are building, no foreign person who employs Malawians and mistreats them will continue to have the privilege of living here. In the new Malawi we are building, everyone's work matters and laziness is unacceptable. So let us all work together. Work hard and work smart to build that new Malawi enjoyed by all. And with these remarks, I wish you all Malawians a happy Labor Day. God bless you for listening. God bless you in your work. And God bless Malawi. Thank you.
Mtsogoleri wa dziko lino kuyankhulatu kwa anthu osiyanasiyana amene afika ndithu kuno ku Sanjeka Palace, antchito osiyanasiyana
Kwambiri a president mundura mambo
muzinda wa Blantyre ya lero tsiku nyimbo ya fuko lathu imeneyo kutsiriza zilizonse zimene zinachitika kuno ku nyumba ya boma ya Sanjika mu mzinda wa Blantyre ya lero ndi pa 1 May 2021 tsiku limene dziko lino limakumbukira ufulu wa anthu ogwira ntchito koma tsiku lokokha ku Malawi tsiku limene lidakhazikitsidwa pa dziko lonse lapansi bungwe la United Nations nthambi ija ya anthu a ntchito Labor International Organization limene limathandizana ndithu ndi wanthu kuti ntchito zawo ziziyenda bwino ndi pachiyambipo kuti kudali ma hours okwanira 15 amene amagwira ntchito wanthu kenaka padachitika zochitika zina ndi zina kuti ayi ma hours achulukitsa kwambiri anthu sangakhale ku ntchito 15 hours ndipo adaganiza kuti pachitike chinthu china ndipo adagwirizananso mgwirizano wawo kuti tikhale ndi masiku ma hours 8 amene munthu athogwira ntchito pa office kapena mboma ndipo zikatero titifuna kuti kana kodi amene amatitsogolera zochitika zomwe pano. It's about time.
Padutsa zaka makumi atatu 30 chichitikireni ngozi ya Napolo yomwe inapha anthu oposa 150 ku Phalombe.
Maso naluza mtu ofunikira kwambiri amene amathandiza Phalombe ngati project officer amene anali Mr. Mumba amene anapita tangotola nkhabusi okhasapato.
Times investigation